Hey everyone, welcome to Tint Wisdom number 103. Today we are joined with Paul and Pamela from Tintwork app. Welcome, Paul and Pamela.
Glad to hear you.
Shit, you froze for a second, but you're back. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah. Yeah, it just got choppy on your end too already.
No worries. The intro is done. Welcome, Paul and Pamela. Shit, you're frozen again.
I can hear you.
It's
You froze again. In and out.
Yeah, you're back though.
Like
We'll see.
like a superhero. Like a superhero. You go in, you come out. Like that fly. That fly was on
Yeah, there we go.
on his head.
I think we're good now. I think it may be stabled out. So, welcome back.
Okay.
Last time we chatted was Tint Wisdom number 70, I believe. It was back in June, and it was just before you were releasing the Tintwork app to the app stores.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we in there now.
So it was already, you were already, like Tintwork was already live and in the works, but you just released the app at that point. But you have been doing Tintwork for how long now?
Oh, yeah. It's been a few years now that we've been doing it where I was basically the app.
Yeah, about 3 years.
Yeah.
Because it took 3 years to build the app.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
but now finally we have an app that's
Yeah,
functioning, that's helping me along a lot more.
Exactly.
And I would be willing to guess that while no one wants to wait 3 years or like spend 3 years developing an app, you'd like to get it done overnight.
Yeah.
I feel like there's a tremendous value in the time that you had to do things manually because it really teaches you what it should look in the app. Got a little feedback there.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Yeah, and it was
Okay.
really choppy, but yeah, I think the point of what you were saying was, yeah, it was good that we were just kind of old school doing it every single function because it really helped me then be able to spell out exactly how the app should work because I was personally doing it every single day.
Yeah.
So we basically just had to turn the app, from my brain. So yeah, it made it a little easier. We're actually working on phase 2 now. We just got a version of that one from the developer that I have to start testing now.
Yeah,
So
make
it's always
it a lot easier.
Yeah.
You always find bugs, and you always have to you have to be more creative to make things easier for the back end and the front end.
So for those who might not be familiar with the app, why don't you kind of give us an overview of what Tintwork is?
So Tintwork is a network of professional window tint installers that share work with each other. So the easiest way to word it is essentially it's Uber for the window tinting industry. So anybody that has a professional window tinting company out there, right now we're just in Los Angeles and Las Vegas and Palm Springs. But we plan on expanding from there. But basically anybody who has their own professional business can join the app. And they can either, if they're slow that day, they can get extra jobs from the app, or if there's jobs that they can't get to, they can put them in the app and somebody else can do them for them. So we all kind of just share work with each other.
Well, what we didn't anticipate is that we were going to get 100 and some people to join the app. We got about 130 people join the app already, but they're nationwide. Our test market is California and Las Vegas, but we got people from Mississippi, Alabama, Florida,
lots of
Kentucky
Texas.
Fried Chicken. Kentucky.
It's their day job while they're trying to get more tint work. Yeah, they work at KFC.
They're all over the place. They work at KFC, but they come from Kentucky.
So to give people a little more of a background, you all also have a tint company, and you have well over a decade in experience. Is that correct?
You're just frozen again.
Yeah, you froze a little bit.
No worries. So to give people a little more background, Tintwork is like you mentioned, a networking app, like an Uber of window tint. And as far as you both go, you've been in the window film industry for over a decade. You also operate your own tint company. Is that correct?
Yeah, we do. I think that to try to compare with Uber, I think that it's a little bit different, because sharing work with other tenants, when another tenant has too much work, some tenants, because I get like I'm on a lot of the networks, the window tint networks, and they say, well, how do we get paid, but how do we are we going through your company and do we give a receipt? You know, they confuse a little bit. So I just want to make it clear that you're running your own company, your own boss through the Tentwork app. You write your own receipts. Your name of your company go on the receipt. You deal with your own customers. Only thing that for example, we have referrers and we have tenters. Anybody can become a referrer, but a lot of tent shops, out there, they be like saying, well, I don't want to be a part of a mobile service. Can they come to me? Well, they can become a referrer. Then and the tenters will go there and do work or whatever, because right now today I have about 4 different shops I work with right now. You see that the referrals contact me and I go up there and tent. It's just the problem we're having is getting more qualified tenters in LA and in Vegas.
Yeah.
Because I think a lot of what you're saying, Eric.
Oh, so David asked, would you say it's more like a home advisor for familiar with that app? So something to kind of clear up here. It's not home advisor because it's not like a lead app. So it's a referral. What qualifies as a referral? So let's just pretend that I have a shop and maybe I don't do mobile, like you said as an example.
Yeah.
And somebody calls in wanting mobile. What happens from when I'm on the phone with a customer that wants mobile all the way to when I get to put it into Tintwork? Do I have to sell the customer? Do I just put the lead in there? Like, explain how that would work for a shop in that exact scenario.
Yeah. So anybody can book a job right now because we definitely need more tinters. I would definitely recommend not something same day, but if we can get a day or two out to book it, the farther in advance, the better, but go ahead and book the job.
So it's on the Tint company. They sell it,
Yep.
They book the day and time, they put it in the app, and then somebody's going to say, I'll go install it.
Exactly.
Yeah, so they put it into the app. I get a notification. I'll double check that, everything is correct, that they didn't forget sneaky little quarter windows in there or whatever it is, And then once it's approved, it gets launched out. So then all the tinters hear, Tintwork, and they look at their phone and they see, oh, okay, there's, such and such a job available, and it lets them know all the details, whether it's carbon or ceramic film, year, make, and model of the car, the city, all how much it pays, what windows need to be tinted, every single detail. And if the tinter wants to take that job, they click take job, and then there you go, it's theirs. Then the referrer will get a notification, so they'll hear Tintwork, and they get a notification on their end saying your job has been taken by a tinter, and it's good to go.
So it really makes that jingle.
We're gonna prove it to you in a minute. We'll show you. She's gonna post a job.
I definitely.
In the app, and all our tenters gonna receive this same message that's in the area.
We we recorded our own ringtone. So So.
Could you make you should upload the job as for them to watch Tint Wizdom now, so that they all see that as a job. No. Never mind. Might have frozen down.
Here.
Okay, she's been. You heard?
That's cool. That's really cool. So.
Yeah.
So okay.
And then we click on the notification. And it's saying, okay, a job is in North Las Vegas or whatever. Then they click on it. It'll tell them the job is near them. Then they can go do the job.
Mm-hmm. You may want to turn your ringer down a little.
Okay, so one of the questions Joshua Reeves had was, so is it your name on the install even so you don't sell it? You don't do it but sell it. I'm sorry, you don't do it but sell it. So, okay, you have the shop who sells it, and then you have the person who installs it. Whose name's on the invoice?
The shop. The
referrer.
The referrer, yeah.
So when the referrer signs up for the Tintwork, one of the questions is what is the name of your company and what is your phone number? And that is what goes on the receipt. Okay. So everybody's customers are protected in that way. So then and it's all electronic. So, the customers can choose either an email or a text receipt. But whatever the referrer company name and number is on there, that's the one that shows up on the receipt.
Okay, so if I'm a shop, I put in a referral on there, like a job on there. Somebody takes the job. Is it a valid concern, or is it something like maybe people brought up where they say, I can just imagine, like, maybe they say, well, if I'm selling the job but I'm not the one installing it, I don't know who's going to install it. I don't want my name on a job if I'm not the one, like, being able to check over quality. Is that's something that you guys vet your installers for, I imagine, and have a process for?
Yeah,
Or?
we have a process for that. First of all, we have a reserve that protects the referrer. It's a reserve just in case that tenant go out there and mess up a job or whatever. The reserve is set up where another tenant can go do the job, and then the reserve, then part of that reserve go to that tenant, and then the other tenant who didn't go out and do the job cannot get another job unless that reserve go up. It's like a bond. So that way,
It is a bond, yeah.
if you take from it, it goes down, and it'll send you an alert. Say for instance that I messed the job up, and so now I'm trying to get another job. It'll send me an alert and saying you can't go do another job unless you bring up your reserve.
And
So
how would
that
you do that? With like a deposit into the account, or how do you bring up the reserve?
they have to put a $200 deposit in the account. It is mandatory because you know how it is. You got tenants that go mess something up and leave. They're like, bye. So therefore they can say bye, but we still have enough reserve there to pay other tenants to go do other things. I even had to go do other jobs for other tenants, but I get paid from the reserve.
Yeah.
So-
yeah. And then anybody that signs up before they even do their first job, we look to see whether they have a lot of reviews out there already. What business listings do they have? But then we also, like, so far we've met with everyone personally to actually see their work.
Yeah.
So that we can 100% vouch for them and get an idea of their level as well.
Yeah.
Just so that I can kind of keep an eye on things. I know every tenor very well, how much they can handle for the day. So if I see them grabbing too much, I might give them a call. Hey, let's ease back on this, or, adjust this or whatever, just to make sure that, everybody has the maximum opportunity for success.
So you mentioned two things that I really want to touch on. You mentioned that you didn't expect to have so many tinters that would want to be part of the app, but they were all fragmented across the United States. So they're in different areas. So you have like the expansion of the territory you covered. And then you also mentioned a version 2 of the app, or maybe like an upgrade of the app or whatnot. So I just wanted to kind of hear more about the strategy of both, like what that upgrade is going to entail, and also what can you do, and what are your thoughts on how you can grow those areas? Because I mean, like you said, there's people all over the country wanting to do it, but you have to get that wheel turning before you can get the machine going. It's a big wheel to start turning. It's like the Wheel of Fortune, the big one, or the Price is Right. All right.
Right? Yeah. We actually are looking into franchising in the different territories. So if there is anybody watching who, does have, already a large, tinting company in a large market, and they're interested in kind of joining this and doing essentially what we've done in their area, whether it's maybe, the whole state of Texas or, just city, we're, definitely open to that and working through, what are the details that need to go into that, because we can't be everywhere at once, So, but we've worked out at this point, we feel like we've worked out enough of the kinks over the last 3 years in the LA and Las Vegas markets to know that, proof of concept, this is working. It has been working. We've had, over a dozen people on the app, at any given time, giving and receiving, and, it's all been working really well. So now it's just a matter of, duplicating in those different areas, but we need, smart people in the industry that, want to take that on and, franchise part of it from us, to be able to get it to go faster, and then version 2 of it, that is, a lot of it is on the administration side of it, making easier for changes and things, so it's the main functions of it, from what I can understand from phase 2, is it's just kind of getting things streamlined a little bit more. Like, for example, if there's a change right now, I have to, and the job is like already in progress, I have to kind of cancel it and recreate it in order to change anything on it, so it's just little stuff like that. But honestly, we are really happy with the way that it's functioning so far. I mean, it's got the nuts and bolts down.
Because I've been tinting since '84. So ever since '84, I saw problems in the window tint industry. You know, I saw honest people, dishonest people. I saw tinters, messing jobs up, don't want to go do them, you know, and a lot of stuff. So I explained that to Pam, and we worked it together to try to create a system where we can protect the referrer, we can protect the customer, we can protect whatever.
Yeah.
You see, so these are the things that's important. Because you can't be working in industries for 2 years or a year and understand this concept, putting it together. You have to have years of this concept, and you know that. Just like Tint Wiz, you got to have years of understanding how Tint Wiz is supposed to operate.
Right.
So therefore, that's one of the things that we came up with, and we're proud of for that. But you know, like the franchise thing is something new. So we have to get with franchise lawyers and people to work together and try to help us get this thing going franchise, because this can be. I mean, we're already at a lot of jobs a month. You know, we are a lot. I'm talking about almost 1,000 jobs.
It's exhausting.
It's exhausting
right now.
man.
Yeah, so we're putting it out there.
We cut the phones off right now. That's why we're able to talk to you.
Yeah, but they're blowing up like in the background. We're like, oh, okay.
I heard them ringing.
Yeah.
So as far as franchising goes, let's talk about if your ideal person was to knock at your door tomorrow, they were watching now. Can you describe who that ideal person, like what they look like, and kind of what that, like what that landscape would look like for them, as far as your first franchisee, or I don't know, your first franchise?
we would like to get someone that's very similar to us. You know, like Paul's been tinting for 30 years, and you know he's got a very established company with tons of great reviews and all, but then it was just too much work for just him. So then we had to solve the problem of like, okay, do we get employees? Do we, outsource? Can we afford, to put people on salary, that kind of thing, which is, what a lot of companies run into. So this is the solution to instead of having to put people on a guaranteed salary, you can have mobile tinters that are all just independent contractors and all just kind of, take what they can. And then with an area like as vast as like, the Los Angeles area, I mean, we cover San Gabriel Valley, San Fernando Valley, Santa Clarita Valley, and a lot of tinners will do that. They'll go from, they'll drive 50 miles to like their next job, where it's in the Tintwork, you don't have to. Just put those that are farther away in there. You take the ones that are closer, and now you can get so many more jobs in a day done because they're all within 20 minutes of each other.
Yeah, and I think the good thing about the mobile business, I've been in both. I had my own shop, and I've been in the mobile business too. Is that you meet very, very intelligent and interesting people. You know what I mean? So I learned a lot from a lot of the customers that I did mobile work for. I might go in Beverly Hills, Hollywood Hills, and I developed friendships with these people. And they were saying, Paul, what do you do with your money when you make money? Oh, you should invest in this. They'll send me a text. They'll say, you should look into this. And then it helped my knowledge. It helped me grow so far. Now we're able to buy properties in different places and everything. So, and another thing that's good about the mobile business is when a lot of people have garages too. You can go in a garage, and you're like in a shop environment, I met very nice people, just crazy. And then also you get tips. I get $50 tips, $100 tips. I got a little tip jar. I fill it up in the month. I say, baby, look, I made like $600, $700 already in tips. Because people, they appreciate you coming to their house. They're like, I don't have to go out and be at a shop all day or nothing like that. But but the good thing about having a shop, that when you're a referrer, you have a tenant there already, and he can't handle all the work. Then you go, you get with the Tentwork, and he can go there and knock out 2 cars at your shop. You see, that way you can not only can you do 10 cars a day at your shop, you can do 20 cars a day at your shop, because you going through the Tentwork app, you getting 5 people at the Tentwork app there doing 2 cars a piece. So you're getting them out quick. And that's another good thing, because when I'm working with shops, it be 2-3 tenants in there, and I'm like, hey man, we see each other at another shop. We're like, man, you just at the other shop. So that's the positive thing about the tent work.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Or,
So-
if there's not enough room, depending on how big the shop is,
Yeah.
if there's not enough room, then that's where you go mobile
Yeah,
with
yeah,
it. You know
yeah.
what I
They
mean?
can send them
So,
over. Yeah, they can say, Paul, can
Yeah.
you go? Like, we got a shop. He said, Paul, the customer, I don't have enough room in my shop right now. Can you go to my customer house? So I go to the customer house and attend at the customer house, and
yeah. But the focus is more
Yeah.
mobile
Yeah.
for this.
It is, but I
it's-
just want people
yeah.
to know that's out there have shops. That you don't have to attend at a shop all the time. And if you need help at a shop, we're here to help you at a shop. We will come there to help you out.
So if there's a busy shop out there, maybe they do mobile and they do shop work, and they're super busy, they're in an area that you do not cover whatsoever, and they say, I'd like to be a franchise. Does that give them some sort of like territory rights of that entire state, that entire county? Is it just a matter of like, how does that work? Because it's obviously like the whole point of the app is working as a community. So if somebody, if we're talking about what areas you don't cover, and possibly doing franchise would be a solution to getting in those areas, what does that look like for the person who?
Well, we have to break that down more before we even kind of speak up on it, because we have to really understand what's fair. Then once we say, okay, will it be fair for us to give them a territory, or will it be fair if the tenants are fighting each other trying to get in different areas?
I guess my question is essentially this. My original question was, you're obviously in Southern California as well as Vegas. You have a demand nationwide. What is your best path currently to making that jump from your local territory to starting to expand to those other areas? So really, it's just that's the question. You mentioned franchising would be it. So I'm just saying, well, then what does that franchising look like? Then we went to what's fair. So I'm just saying, like,
that's why we would have to sit down with some professionals, and talk about how we can reach our arms out to different areas.
Yeah,
okay. But she can give you an overall idea of what we might do. But we could say we're gonna do this, but it might be better advice, forecast advice, saying, hey, Paul, this would be better to be fair. Like 3M does. They get different territories, things like that.
What to me makes the most sense is to start out essentially the territory would be a major city. Like with Los Angeles, you've got Los Angeles and the surrounding valleys, would all be like one territory. If we were to try and take on the Bay Area on top of Los Angeles, it's just such a huge area. I think it would be too much, So I think initially when we're open to finding people who do want to franchise in a certain area, I think we will probably initially at the beginning narrow it down to a major city, like, for example, Houston or something, where they would have, rights over that to help grow the Tintwork app in
certain
that
regions,
in that,
regional areas.
Territory.
Because
otherwise it's too much, for an entire state that, could have 20 major cities in it. You know what I mean? It's just too much for one person.
Essentially, you need some sort of foundation of installers. So you need a little bit of a network in each city. So it's almost like if you could form a waiting list in each city and try to generate, hey, if you were going to pick Houston, like you said, you take the 20 tint companies that are in Houston, you give it your best shot to sign up at least 5 of them, and you have 5 of them. Now you make one of them maybe like a community leader. Their job's to maybe oversee some of the things that can only be done in person, if those things exist, and you're rolling, right?
Yeah,
that's what we have right now. Oh, that might be the customer that's coming.
Oh, give me one second.
Get it.
So that's probably what we're going to start out doing is we already have all of those people that have signed up, so, anybody else who's interested that is not in the LA or Las Vegas area, we absolutely encourage them to go ahead and sign up for the app. I don't even think we've mentioned that yet. So it's on Android and iOS, and they just type in Tintwork and they'll find it, or go to tintwork.com and the link will be directly on there for them to download. And then once they sign up, I text everybody, thanks for signing up. we're not in your area yet. And I always let everybody know, if you want to move to LA, we'll keep you busy. But, if not, then yes, then they go on a waiting list and then we'll notify them. So we're kind of analyzing that right now. We've got a huge spreadsheet together and looking at, whatever area has the most interest in it, that's going to be the one that we'll go to next. And we'll start out with absolutely everybody who's signed up already for the app and let them know, like, okay, we're looking for someone, like you said, to spearhead, this region. And then, how do we go from there? Because it's just too much for me. I need another person in the office too. So if anybody's not a tinter, but they have experience working in an office, hit me up. We're in LA.
Yeah, I mean, that's my next question is, how do you manage the growth of your own business versus your own installation business versus the growth of this app and the resources that they're both probably just pulling you on in both directions? Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Because I'm in charge of all the testing for the app as well, because I'm the one who wrote it. So, I don't know how to code, so I'm working with a coder, but like I have to test everything and go, nope, this doesn't work, or this is supposed to be this way, or this is calculated wrong. Just all of the business that's coming in for Tint LA, which is our, window tinting company that we have on top of this. So once again, back to your question about, ideally who we're looking for, the best person, for franchising is going to be someone just like us who has a window tinting business that's super busy, that they can right away feed extra jobs into the app to get it going, so that when they get tinters, they already have jobs for those tinters right away, and then work on getting more referrers, which is kind of what we've done. Is we started out initially, it just kind of happened organically. We just, developed, we just kind of met people that were tinters that became our friends. And then when we got too busy just to be nice, we were like, hey, he's exhausted. Can you squeeze in one more today? Or, we'd call somebody else like, oh my gosh, we just had 2 cancellations. How you feeling today? You want to take a break? And we just started sharing, organically with each other. And then it developed, into the app where, we're friends with everybody, that's a member so far, really just helping each other out. And it doesn't have to be competitive, because we all know each other, and we all know that we're all going to do really good quality work as if it's our own, because we're held accountable for it.
Right. I think that's essentially the biggest thing to everybody, every tinter, most of the comments, it's all kind of regarding the thought of like, I'm not doing the work. Is that going to be okay?
Yeah. Yeah. And that's, you never know until you try. That was my biggest concern was, but that's what every business goes through, even when they hire an employee. You don't know how long they're going to stick around. You don't know how well they're going to do. They just have to, try them out and see how it goes. It's just the nice thing with the Tintwork is we're the ones experimenting. We experiment with the jobs that we feed into the system. So, a Tintwork member that, hasn't done any jobs, hasn't proven themselves yet, we're not going to give a job from a referrer to them until we've used them ourselves as a guinea pig, just so that it's protected, so that Paul can, if there's any issues, Paul can go back and redo it.
And that's something that'll obviously change over time, because as you expand your area, it'll be impossible to have that oversight. But that's where a community leader or whatnot would step in, and why there's a need for that. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Was that?
I have a customer, man, so I got to go to work.
Do your thing.
I'll say, see you guys later.
Thanks for joining.
All right, you're welcome. Bye-bye.
You can obviously see there's plenty of work out there. So, so we're entering, I guess, what are we in fall? We can see winter from here if it hasn't started already. I don't really know.
Yeah.
Have you seen any slowdown? Do you have any sort of projection or any ideas? This is the first year with the app running, but you were running Tintwork before that. Is this also a great solution for somebody who says, it gets really freaking slow in winter?
Yeah, it's last year we were like, wait, isn't this slow season? We were swamped. It was crazy. Like we didn't have a slow season until when was that? It was like February or March, I think, when it rained for 2 weeks out here and all the COVID stuff. and that was, definitely scary at that time. But, it rained for 2 weeks straight, and there was all the talk about this new virus out and da 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 da. And, but even with, a lot of the shops, it was interesting. You were interviewing people and their shops were closing down and stuff because of COVID. Well, mobile was the solution. People still wanted to get it done, but it's like, you put a mask on, you're installing with soap and water, so you're constantly cleaning everything as you're doing it. You don't have to be next to a customer, they can leave the keys in the car. You don't have to get. That's the night that for even the receipt. So, nothing's being touched. You're not going near anyone. It's nice, and everything's just cleaned with soap and water anyway. So, we didn't get the hit like, shops did. And that really kind of sold it for us. Like, wow, we're like onto something here, because there's always that need for it. It's just a matter of, now with the restrictions with the brick and mortar shops, and social distancing and all that, it doesn't apply to mobile because you're just sending one person there. So it's nice.
Yeah, depending on what you look at, what you like listen to, what you read, what you watch, you get a different feeling as far as where we stand regarding COVID and so on. But like it does to me today, right now, if I was like looking towards the future and future of Tint Shop, I'm just saying if you were making a decision today, more of my gut there's more mobile living in my gut than there was 6 months ago. I always loved the idea of mobile. I'll tell you especially why, because we saw, people typically start out in mobile, and then they like work their way up to a location and to a shop, and sometimes they go right into a shop. But there's kind of like, it's assumed like there's a transition, like mobile being the start or the base, and then eventually you get a shop, and then you get a bigger shop and a bigger shop and a bigger shop. But then, you see, and that's a beautiful thing, and there's a huge place for that, and I love that to death. But then what I also see out there that I love even more is you see a company like Tesla, and while they do have service centers, a big part of their service is sending out a van to wherever your vehicle is, whether it's at home or work, and handling whatever needs to be done, some of the simple things, replacing parts and so on, right there in the parking lot and getting out of there. So it's not inconveniencing the customer whatsoever. And I know if there's a small thing that needs to be done to my vehicle, going to the dealer is the biggest part of that inconvenience. It's not going to be the cost, it's going to be the experience of going to the dealer. So when I see Tesla doing mobile service, then I say, well, what are Tesla owners going to want if they're looking at window tint? Well, I just had Tesla come repair my car. Maybe somebody can come tint my car. And
Exactly.
that's that like balance of a pendulum where I see like, yeah, everybody goes to shop, but creates this even better and bigger opportunity for a mobile service, which can be charged even more than at a shop with less overhead and a lot more flexibility.
Exactly. Even with cell phones, like during COVID, I cracked my screen, and Paul did the same thing, and I called and I was like, all the stores are closed. What do we do? They had switched to mobile. So they had a mobile person come over to our house, and they, switched out the screen like right there in their little van. I mean, so that's really the direction of the industry since COVID has hit, is everything is mobile, going to the customer, keeping your distance. And, so it's really nice that we just happen to have started this 3 years ago to really, facilitate this along, because this is the trend.
Yeah.
Is mobile. And that's more of what people want. They don't want to have to go to public places. They want people coming to their house.
Yeah.
They feel safe there,
Another nice thing about mobile is a lot of times in window film, it's hard to take a break. It's hard to get a vacation. It's hard to get any days off or to close down or to travel or to do anything, because once you're rolling, it's like a force of nature. And if you're mobile, at that point, it's only a matter of blocking off your schedule, but you essentially likely have no overhead to have to maintain. Because if you have a shop, good luck locking the doors and explaining that to somebody for 3 weeks at a time. Like, that's not going to work, But at least with mobile, you have a little bit better of a chance, at least,
Yeah. And it's nice for anybody who wants to move here. I just talked to somebody from Dallas yesterday that he's like, I've always wanted to move to LA, but I'm looking for the perfect opportunity. Well, I know tons of actors that, have moved to LA because, that's what you do. And, they can get started with, Uber and Lyft right away to make money, like within a week of them, being here. It's the same thing for tinters. They don't even have to worry about going to, interviews and, all of that stuff. They can just, get everything set up ahead of time where the very day that they roll into town, I can coordinate a job, meet them on it, and, good to go, and they can just start making money right away, and get the tint and all of that. When you referred Roger to us, thank you again for him. We love him.
And he's super happy. I just want to say that's somebody who used to work for me. He was out of work. He asked, I don't think he even asked. I think he said, I said, hey, can I refer you if anybody asks? And I think he specifically said, don't refer me to anybody, please. And then when I spoke to you, and Roger, so like, I think he specifically said, don't refer me. Cause I was like, I do know shops and blah, blah, blah. And I have a better sense. I think I have a good sense of, I've worked with some of them. I know, who's good, who's maybe doesn't, not so good. Anyway, I said, can I refer you? You said, don't refer me. And then I eventually you asked, and I sent him your information. He has since messaged me, and, he's authentically loves working with you guys. He loves the app. He's thanked me when he explicitly told me not to give out his information. So I'm glad that worked out. And that's another part of why I wanted to talk to you again, because, it's working. Are you marketing to your local area to get more installers, or how are you currently finding installers? Is it all word of mouth?
Oh my goodness, it's really getting choppy again, the connection.
It's okay. How are you looking for new installers within LA and Vegas? Is it word of mouth, or are you marketing towards installers looking for jobs?
Craigslist and Instagram and Facebook, trying to get the word out. But a lot of it, we're just so grateful for you, not only for, Roger, but I don't know if he wants us telling everybody like how much he made, but he made a lot of money his first day. It was like, we called him. It was like, hey, can you do tomorrow 3 commercial buildings? Yes. Great. Boom. Awesome. Like, made his reserve, he's been working every day since, so that's easily what we can do for, any other tinter that even wants to move here. We can get it lined up, get them going, right away. It's great. But yeah, a lot of it is word of mouth referrals. That's the way I think we've gotten the majority of the people, is from somebody who loves working with us. That is then, they know that they're solid. And, I let them know, like, look, friends, because we turn down like 5 to 10 jobs a day, like I need to hire another person in the office to help me handle the workload coming in. And I haven't even put any effort into referrers yet, getting more, but I have them waiting on the sidelines going, yes, let me know when you get enough tinters, because I'm signing up as a referrer, because, all of the car wash companies out there want to add window tinting services as an extra service. All of the automotive repair shops that, Paul and the Tintwork we send people to, they're all like wrap shops that don't do the tinting. They're, or auto body shops and all of that use us, that they want to add that as an extra service for their company. But, they can't afford to pay a salary to someone because it's just as needed. They don't know how many they're going to get in, So the work is not going to be a problem at all. As we get more and more tinters, it's like, I have so many people lined up to put work into the system. It's just a matter of getting those tinters, So it's, word of mouth, social media. If you have any other suggestions on how to find them.
Yeah. What
I'm
about
all ears.
So in January, there's the window tinting convention, the window film convention, and Tint Off in Orlando, Florida. Are you planning on attending?
I just assumed that it wasn't going to happen because of everything with COVID. We wanted to go, but I just assumed that would probably not.
Oh, well, so it was rescheduled from September. It was supposed to have happened already in the end of September. It's rescheduled for mid-January. We have a booth, so we get communication regarding that, And as of now, I can tell you, as far as everybody's concerned, there is 100% a go. So
Okay.
if anybody's considering going and you're not sure if you should make the plans, as far as a booth owner, we are committed. We pay for the stuff that's going to be in the booth. So like if they've taken everybody through that far of a commitment, I think they're pretty certain that it's a go. And then they've also offered, they're offering a virtual attendance as well. So for those who maybe don't attend in person, you're able to attend virtually. But the reason I say ask if you were going to go was because if you're looking to scoop up a ton of tinters at a time, what better place than a place that we're all congregating for 3 days in a room,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
It's
totally.
like
Yeah.
fishing.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. That'll be great. Yeah. I'm definitely gonna look into that. Yeah. Awesome.
I mean,
Yeah, because we wanted to go. The only reason why we hadn't signed up so far was just because everything's been canceled. You know, like even like the SEMA show is usually where we go every year. And because there is a little bit of the window tinting part, you know, for the SEMA show, but you know, that was
so
yeah.
another suggestion I would have would be, um, Patrick Francisco said in the comments, he said, I spoke with Deb from Windowfilm Magazine and she said they are 100% moving forward and they are a go. And Patrick is actually literally, it's funny he left that comment because he was the next thing out of my mouth was you just said, you know, do I have any other suggestions on how to maybe get some other tinters on this? I definitely think being listed on the Window Film Pros website as a sponsor is a good way because I know they have, I think, 200 to 300 window film companies listed in their dealer network. And then
Mm-hmm.
also taking advantage of their group, but also groups like Window Film Revolution. I mean, you have a group of 7 or 8 thousand tinters. That's where I would go. And as Tint Wiz, that's where we go to, you know, connect with the community on Facebook. So I would suggest the same thing for you all because I feel like while I do see posts in like Window Film Classifieds and some of those other groups, I don't see you as much in those primary groups. And I think it's just a matter of awareness and getting people together. It could just be one post that ends up being, you know, a catalyst for a lot of new members. How much of that
Uh-oh.
froze?
It's getting a little choppy. I'm missing part of it, but
Well,
yeah, we're
anyway, the
definitely
groups.
part of every Facebook group we have been able to find. We have signed up for and posted about the Tintwork app numerous times, and Paul is a lot more active with that, you know, giving suggestions to people and putting up other stuff and a lot of interaction with those. But yeah, I would say probably a good 50 of the tinders that have signed up have seen us on one of those Facebook groups, you know, all the window tinting Facebook groups. But yeah, we've scoured them and every single one we could possibly find to join, you know, we have definitely at this point. But it's hard finding the ones specifically in LA, particularly LA and Las Vegas right now that we're struggling with. We're finding, you know, like Paul said, like well over 100 we have from all over the country, just not in LA.
So Chamal says he could take some customers in McKinney, Texas, send some see. And then Cody asked, he said, so could we have a mobile unit on the app, then charge a premium for the luxury? So I'm pretty sure Cody does not offer mobile for automotive now. So I guess the answer to that is you could charge anything you want and
Mm-hmm.
put it in the app. So whether you call it luxury or not, you can charge anything you want, put it in the app. Somebody's going to do the installation and you're making the difference, right?
Oh, exactly. Yeah. And that's what we, you know, the shops that we work with right now, you know, we let them know like, hey, if you don't have room in your shop, you know, instead of turning down the customer, tack on an extra however much you want and make it mobile and then put it into the Tintwork instead of turning down the job, you know, and then it becomes a mobile service for them. So yeah. And everybody in the Tintwork agrees to a wholesale rate. So the tinters on average for carbon film, they make 110 for a sedan for 7 windows. And then the service fee on that is $40. So it's only going to cost a referrer $150 to put like an average sedan into the app. Now, there's going to be exceptions to the rule, obviously, like a Tesla Model 3 with the back window the way it is and stuff like that, or if cars are worth more than 100,000, there's a lot more risk. So, we do have, some exceptions to the rule with that. But in general, the majority of them. So, yeah, and we keep it low like that, but fair, where, we've asked a lot of companies, okay, how much do you pay? How much do you charge, and try to go into that sweet spot in the middle so that everybody can make money. So we just suggest to the referrers, just charge $200. Now you made $50 instead of just saying, oh, sorry, we're booked, and then hang up. Now you just made $50 and put it into the app. Just try and book it, a couple days out,
to give time,
because we need the tinners right now. Yeah.
Sure.
The majority of the jobs that I turn down are same day or next day. Because people just don't want to wait.
So Cody Becker's in Delaware, and if he had a customer call in and say, hey, I had my car tinted by you and my home tinted by you. I wondered if you have a location in Los Angeles because I have a home there and I want you guys, Cody Becker's company, to do it for us. And Cody says, yes, absolutely. We can actually get the job done for you. We're part of this app called Tintwork, and we can get it done for you. Now,
yeah.
Cody says, the guy says, look, I want the exact same thing you did on my car and the exact same thing you did on my home. We're going to do the same thing in my home in LA and my car in LA. Now, Cody says, okay, cool. He puts that in the app. Now, he puts in CoolView that he installed on the home, transitional film by CoolView. And then for the car, he installed Expel Prime Plus, XR Plus. How does the installer in LA that's going to do the job, that takes that job, how do they get the CoolView film? So let's say Roger's in LA. He's like, shit, that's a perfect job for me. I want to do it. He goes, well, how do I get this CoolView to install in these people's home?
Yeah, right now in the app, there's a choice between, the tinter must, it's a check mark on there. The tinter must supply the film, which is going to be harder because then you've got to try and find somebody that's, can get that film, and as we know, there's certain manufacturers that like to be exclusive and don't just let anybody buy their stuff, which I hate. But anyway, so
I can see that's a whole can of worms.
The other option is they would have to ship it to the tinter or to the location, the job site. So they have that button on there that they can click. But it's going to be a lot easier for us to find a tinter if they can supply the film and just have it shipped, either to the job site or, they can work with us as well. If it doesn't have to be the same exact one. I've become quite the nerd as far as, the different films that are out there and who's got what. So I can try and find, like a local company like American Standard, which I love, that, has some comparable films that are a lot more affordable than, some of the other ones that are a lot more expensive or exclusive.
Okay, so I won't necessarily touch on the exclusive part of it, but I do want to touch on a name you just brought up, which was American Standard. Now, we had Pierre, one of the founders of American Standard, on Tint Wizdom, and I had gotten quite a few people. It was a handful of people, actually, and it surprised me. I really enjoyed speaking with Pierre. It was an honor to speak with Pierre. He was somebody that I've known of in the industry for years and I respect very highly. But I had people reach out and just say how special he was to them and how, in a couple instances, how much he's done for them and so on. And then, of course, there's there's no shortage of criticism for the company as well that you can find online. I'm curious, you obviously like American Standard window film. Beyond the exclusivity aspect of it, or the lack of exclusivity aspect of it, why do you like that company so much? What do you like about him? Because I feel like Pierre's a great guy, and I've heard so many great things about him. While I've heard the negatives, I'd like to, blow some wind on the sparks of the positive, because those, ultimately are the ones that sometimes we don't hear about as often.
Yeah. So we're very careful with what films are approved by tinters. So I'm also systematically reaching out to all of the manufacturers out there. So if there's any manufacturers that are, watching this, definitely reach out to me. You can just go to our website, tintwork.com, and message me there. And why is this not? Hang on. This is just about to run out of battery.
You're good.
I think Paul tripped on it. Hang on one quick sec.
Take your time. In the intern, I'll show this cool shirt that ExoShield sent. So just wanted to show that. If I wore it, it just looks like a red shirt because it's kind of like this. So just wanted to say thank you for the shirt. I think it's cute. It's cool advertising, and ExoShield is a way to avoid rock chips. Not a commercial, but just wanted to show off the shirt. All right, we're back.
I love it. That was kind of like a quick commercial break. That was perfect.
Not a commercial. We don't have sponsors. We don't do commercials. But I wanted to show off the shirt. If you send me a shirt, I have to give a shout because I really like shirts. So thank you,
Awesome.
Marissa at ExoShield and the whole team over there. Anyway, we're back. So American Standard Window Film, tell us some good things. Why do you choose to use them as one of your vendors?
Yes. So in general for us, company manufacturers that are approved have to honor a lifetime warranty against peeling, bubbling, and turning purple for the carbon line. And then peeling, bubbling, turning purple, as well as fading for the ceramic lines. So American Standard has Excel, that's great for the carbon line, as well as a line called Carbon that qualify for that. And then their Excel IRP line qualifies for the ceramic line. So we want to see it also personally. So we've personally worked with those. We like the clarity on it. And it's very, very rare that we get any kind of complaints about the films. And anytime we ever have, like, I've never personally worked with Pierre. I've just like waved at him a couple times. And they did have a marketing guy or a girl that was doing some interview things, and they interviewed us about the Tintwork app years ago. It never aired. I don't know what she did wrong with it. But anyway, I was grateful for that they tried at least with that, and then she's no longer there. But
was it at
anyway,
SEMA? Was it at SEMA?
No,
they
they had this little cute studio built into like at their Glendale location, and she just had me come in and did like we had drinks and did an interview, and that was like their little gimmick thing is have a cocktail and
yeah.
Yeah,
I remember that definitely. I remember it was a podcast they did a few of them, and they'd sit right?
Yeah.
Little room.
Yeah, it was a great set and all. Yeah, it was super cute. But I don't know what happened to our interview. I don't know if she ran out of space and it didn't record, or
I'm going to take a guess. I don't know why it wouldn't be on there, but I will say that in my opinion, I have a feeling that maybe she doesn't work for the company anymore. So at some point,
she doesn't.
That's why. But that was a good example of something that it was a great idea. It was well executed, and it just needed consistency. And it sucks when things like that start, but then they disappear. I'm just saying, because I really like that. And you reminded me of those couple episodes that they did.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and she had reached out to me saying, I don't have much of the video, but the audio kept. So we're going to try and do some podcasts, and then I might use the interview on the audio stuff. And then next thing I knew, like she wasn't with them anymore. But you're totally frozen on my end. Can you hear me?
I can hear you and see you perfectly. So we're still good as far as broadcasting goes.
Good. Okay, cool. Yeah, you're just frozen on my end, but that's okay. So anyway, with any manufacturer, we personally want to inspect the film or around for a while. If they say, yes, this is the film that I've used, and I see tons of really good reviews on, their business page and stuff like that, then, that's enough to convince me that, they're good quality, and then they will make the list. But Eddie is the manager over at American Standard at the Glendale location, and he's always been fantastic. The very few times that we've had any kind of, because there's always going to be like, a little sputter of something, of some sort of issue, boom, right away, he replaces it with another box, like it's never been a problem. They've just been great about that. Anytime we've had any kind of issues, so we've been really grateful working with them for years now. So they're definitely on our top priority list of people that we would like to join the Tintwork. So.
And then you said that there's opportunities for other manufacturers to reach out to you to kind of become one of the preferred vendors, I guess, the film suppliers, depending on what the jobs entail?
It cut out.
It's
Say
okay.
that again.
So you said there's also opportunities for other vendors, like film suppliers, to reach out to become like preferred vendors with Tintwork, so like other window film manufacturers.
Yes. So if anybody has a line of film that they want to qualify, that's the first thing is it's got to have the warranties, and then they can reach out to me and send us samples just so that we can install it on one or two windows. Make sure that when you're looking at the statistics that you just don't know. Like for example, I don't want to badmouth anyone. Solar Free, very reasonably priced film. Their Century line is fine, for carbon. It's not the best clarity, but it's carbon. But their ceramic line, their Z to A, we stopped using it because to charge, we personally for our company charge an extra $100 to a customer, for ceramics. So if we're going to be charging that much more, like it's got to be good quality. The clarity on it has got to be up there. And they just don't have the clarity for their Z to A line. That it started to kind of get a little, and they phased that one out. So yeah, it just depends on that. So that's why we personally want to inspect, every film that makes our approved list as the statistics on heat rejection and warranties and all of that.
Cool. Well, Pam, I have a feeling that the second we disconnect, you're going to start working. So I feel like we shouldn't necessarily take up any more of your time unless there's anything else you wanted to discuss.
No, I just want to encourage everybody, go to our website, tintwork.com, and you can read a lot more about it. And I have like a little video on there, and then you can message me through that website, or you can email me directly, tintworkla@gmail.com. Or Pam@tintwork.com. Either one of those will work, or give us a call on Instagram, Facebook. We're all over the place, and all of that is on our website, tintwork.com. Download the app through the website, or just go directly into the Play Store or App Store, and you'll find it there. And yeah, we really just want to get this going to the next level where we need tinters badly.
Yeah. So, if you want to see this,
turning down jobs.
if you want to see this come to your area, the only way to do it is, I guess, reaching out to you, getting on the list. Because if you sit and wait in silence and everybody does that, then that area is not going to take off. So it's kind of like something. Right. It's important if you want to see your area, I guess, to help be a part of how I get the ball rolling.
Yeah, signing up for the app, no matter where they are, is the way that they put their vote in for where we're going next. Because the area that has the most members that have signed up in, that's the next one that we're going to go into. And then we're partner with us, franchise with us, and go from there. But, we've got to have the vote in first. So the way to vote is to sign up. And It's free. It's a free download.
Free download. And then to get started, the only cost would be like your bond, essentially, when you're taking on jobs yourself, right?
Right. Yeah. It's a $200 reserve that we hold from everyone. And there's two ways to do it. If they're local, we have to meet them and see their work anyway. So, usually their reserve is met when we meet with them, because I try and book something that, they're going to earn $200 on anyway, whether it's a couple cars in the same location, or it's like with Roger, it was like 3 commercial buildings that we had all in one day, and, boom, he just made it right there. But if it's difficult, to meet with them and they have a lot of really good reviews already and they're, an established company, then we don't necessarily have to, because if they have a lot of reviews and we see they're an established company, then, the other customers have already vet them for us. And then they can just, Venmo, Cash App, whatever, just get that reserve in there, or take jobs where the customer is going to be paying electronically instead of by cash. Because that's the other thing. The customer can either pay the tinter directly in cash, and if they do, the extra amount that doesn't belong to the tinter, that belongs to the referrer and to us, just comes out of their reserve right away. So it's nice to have that extra, kind of bank account there that we can just pull it out of. But then they can't do another job until they get that reserve back up to 200. So yeah, either way works. But that's, basically the only investment other than, the usual where you got to have your own tint and everything else.
You're good. Froze for a second at the end, but
Uh-oh. Hello?
you're good.
Hi, it crashed. Yeah? Okay, I don't see anything on my end. My screen went completely.
You're back. It was a quick freeze. I heard 99% of it. So it just froze at the very end. So get the app, tintwork.com, and now we're completely disconnected. So this will be a great place to end it. Thanks for everybody for watching. Cody Becker, I just want to read this comment real quick so I can address it. He said, it's got to be your connection, Eric. So many people lagging. I have a 1 gig connection. It is absolutely not my connection. Obviously, streaming is a very internet. It takes a lot of, your uploads transfer to be able to stream well. So, it's an understandable thing when we have these glitchy things, whether it be my internet or anybody's. Just things we got to deal with. It's part of why not many people do live streaming interviews like this, but I think we got it underway pretty well. No big deal. A little glitchy tonight, but thank you everybody for watching. Thank you Pam and Paul for being on tonight, and that's the tintwork.com is their app, and that's it. We will be back next Wednesday with Tint Wisdom number 104. See everyone then. Have a great night. Thanks again for watching. Bye-bye.